One of the common misconceptions I think that exist about atheists is that we're 100% against the idea that God exists, that we're the exact opposite of the theist. And I think that that is a bit of an error, at least for people like me. And I have a little mental example, kind of a story that might help illustrate the difference. Imagine two friends sitting atop a hill on a clear, starless or cloudless night with stars all above twinkling in the heavens. And the two friends are gazing up, marveling at all. Meteors are showering across, and various of the planets are there, and the Milky Way galaxy is yawning open there for all of them to see. It's an amazing sight. And the two friends are looking up in awe, and they turn to one another and say, "Well, what do you see?" And the one friend says, looks up and says, "I see a lot of stars, a lot of the twinkling lights." The other friend looks at him or her and says, "Is that it?" "Yeah, well, that's about it. That's what I see." That's an atheist. An atheist looks up at the universe, sees what they see, finds what they find, and sees no evidence of anything more than that, and concludes in an operational fashion that from this point forward, there's nothing more than the stars and the lights and the galaxies and all the good stuff up there. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't see something different tomorrow. Now, that friend then, the atheist, then turns to the theist and says, "So, what do you see?" And the theist says, "What's up there? I see a man, an invisible man." Now, I'm borrowing a little bit from that great theologian, yes, I guess that would be a theologian, George Carlin. "I see an invisible man, full of wrath, jealous wrath and anger. Oh, but he loves us." And the atheist looks up and says, "Really? Where do you see that?" And the other friend says, "Well, trust me, it's up there." "No kidding. Oh, okay." Now there we go. There we have the atheist's perspective, looking up and seeing nothing and concluding that there is nothing other than the material and laws and the fact of energy and change, and operating from that perspective. And the theist that looks up and sees something beyond that what was apparent, and sees more than that, and creates a worldview based on that. Now the next night they may come to the hilltop again and look up again, and the atheist says, "Well, basically I still see the same thing. So today's no different than yesterday." Now the difference being, here's the point: if the atheist was to look up that following night and see something miraculous, something truly evidence that there was indeed something more than that, then they would be forced to revise their previous day's conclusions and move forward with a new frame of mind, a new way of looking at things. So the atheist then has to be continually maintain vigil for evidence of that there may be wrong. That's one of the key elements of being an atheist, is to be open to being wrong and to adjusting your worldview. So we're not 100% in that capacity. Whereas the theist may not even be looking up. That's been my experience, at least. They may still be occupied with whatever they're doing, and the atheist turns to them and says, "I just looked up. I still see stars and lights and the galaxy and meteorites and stuff. What about you?" The theist might even be looking up and saying, "Oh, it's all there. I don't need to look up. I have faith." Now, from those two perspectives, to me, only one seems reasonable, and this explains why I am indeed an atheist, and why I will continue to look up at the night sky and observe the universe around me and seek out signs that I may be wrong. Although I doubt I'll ever find them, because the key point there, the key difference between the atheist and the theist, is that last word that I used just a moment ago: faith. Theists, their worldview typically hinges on the concept of faith, whereas the atheist will reject faith altogether. basically most atheists tend to operate from a perspective that we have to see, hear, taste, touch, smell, or in some way experience empirical, true world evidence that something exists before we will bring it into our mental cosmology, so to speak. So it has to be empirical, repeatable, and falsifiable. That's what we're typically looking for. Well, hopefully this little story has helped to explain why atheists are typically not dead set against God. We simply are operating at the current moment from the best evidence that is put before us. And if that evidence changes, well, we might have to change our tune. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. And thank you, George Carlin, for allowing me borrow your wonderful descriptions. Rest in peace, please.